Yes, sir.
All right. What's going on, people? It's A Shot of Discourse. He's your boy, Def Redeem. And I got a special guest in the building, Sherrod.
Let's not do the government names, man. Let's just go.
That's what I don't know what else to call you.
Rod is fine.
Rod
Thank
in the
you.
building. I ain't say your last name either. You see, you already being top secret.
My bad.
That's
You
the
right.
clearance talking?
Nah, you know I am.
That's the clearance talk. We ain't even gonna get in your background. Mr. High Level,
I ain't killed
Mr.
nobody.
Credit himself.
That's all it is. Good credit. Life is good credit. Life is good credit.
That's what I'm talking about. So we had an amazing birthday weekend, celebrating a lot of birthdays.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you were able to take the trip, see the multifamily empire that I'm trying to build. What you think, man?
I love it, man. I love seeing what you're doing up here. This in itself is crazy.
Appreciate it.
You know, and I appreciate y'all having me up here for the birthday celebrations, through the
Yeah.
drinking, the lack of sleep. It's been fun. It's
It has
good.
been
It's time
fun.
with the kids. It's all everything's been good.
Everybody's napping right now in the crib, so except for me. It's
Yeah.
time to work. It's time to work.
Let's get it.
We got Yaz in the building and Jamie on the keys. But right now, we're going to have a nice conversation about the importance of credit. Because you Mr. Credit himself.
No.
I think that should be a nickname now. Rod Credit.
Don't do that.
Rod Credit.
Nah, man. Credit is everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we know. I feel like we not taught at a young age how important it is. We get
Okay.
into the real world, we start working, and we realize, you want to buy a house, you want to get a car, credit card, credit is everything.
Everything revolves around credit.
Everything.
And the other thing, too, is that, like you said, I think we are learning the power of credit right now. But like actually deploying it and making it make money, I think your story and how you were able to do what you do is a testament that I think everybody needs to kind of like learn. And I'm hoping that we can kind of dive in a little bit, talk about how you kind of realized what was going on and you took advantage of the situation. So before we do start, it wouldn't be a shot of discourse if we didn't take a shot, man.
Hey,
You got one poured up?
I got one poured up. Let's do it.
All right. The first things first. So when when I met you, you were like the first or the youngest person with a house. Talk about that story and how that came to be.
Oh man. Let's see. I know I was working in Sunshine. I'm not even gonna say the name of the company. Travel company.
Yeah.
There it is. Working for a travel company.
Sales.
I started off in admin.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted extra money. I said, teach me the sales. They taught me the sales, and I just started booming. And
Oh wait, go back all right. So you were working like in the office behind the scenes,
Correct.
and then what kind of prompted you to go into the sales area? You
think-
saw the money or
well, I saw the money one, but they didn't want to combine both, so I had to do one or the other.
Okay.
So well, let me do the admin. I got my daughter was young at the time. I said I need a guaranteed money for now. Maybe later I learn sales. After being there for like a year and a half, I think we had a few days where people calling sick or whatever. They need people to fill in for sales, and I stepped up and I got good at it, and I made us a lot of money. And they
Good.
decided to just give me both salary and so after doing
commissions and then the salary.
commission and
Okay.
salary.
Gotcha.
Correct. And it just worked out well for me. I had a couple good months, had all this money piling up. And for me, I've never always been a person that money just sits in your savings account.
Yeah.
I mean, I had money saved up for my daughter. I was like, something got to happen with this other money. It can't just sit there.
Okay.
We know interest rates and how long it takes.
Inflation
dividends
eating your money and all
it's
that
crazy.
stuff. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. So
And at that time, we talking like 08, right?
this was in this was 2010.
Oh, okay.
It was
So we
2010.
getting out of the recession, that craziness. All
Yeah.
right.
So we slowly getting out of the recession. And, got this money piling up. I was like, I need to do something with it.
Yeah.
Get in my own spot anyway. Looked at this house. It took me a year to get the house because it was
Okay.
a short sale.
Okay.
But I, get this house. It's a fixer upper. Needs a lot of work. But I'm like, I got the money for it. It's just sitting there. I was like, this is hopefully will pay off in the long run.
So now let's make sure we level set and tell the audience where you at. So we're in Maryland, in the DC metro
Yep,
area,
the
right?
area. Yep.
And this particular short sale, I would say not many people saw the vision of what short sales were going to be or anything that at that time.
Short sales.
What
are
made you like
foreclosures.
get into that?
I just needed something cheap, and my background was mechanical engineering anyway, and problem solver.
Okay.
You see something, I know how to do simple fixes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the fixtures, and I'm like, I put in some new floors, get the walls patched up.
So you were doing the work?
Nah, I had planned to,
Mhm.
and then the job I was working for sent me away to Hawaii. I was in Hawaii for about 6 months.
Oh,
for
shit,
work.
yeah.
And they sent me there. Literally, I went to close in 2 days, and then I was shipped out to Hawaii.
Okay.
So I had to have contractors come in and do it for me.
Okay.
Had a few people come in and help with stuff, and I just kind of sent the money. My mother was kind of managing, getting it together.
Got you.
For
So
me.
you had somebody you trusted at the
Yep.
crib, making sure the work was getting done.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it just it worked out. And I actually bought this house, and me and my cousin bought it together.
Yeah.
We both stayed there. He was military, so
Yep.
he was coming back from overseas. We bought it together, and we both stayed there for a couple years. His family started to grow a little bit. He needed to expand, and I bought him out of the house. With the equity that the house had automatic equity.
Now here's a thing where, like, and I had a previous podcast where I talked to my boy Blaze. I find it hard to come together and find people to do something with, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now you actually were able to link up with your cousin and say, oh, hey, let's do this. Let's buy this property. But in the meantime, you guys were both responsible enough where it's like, yo, our bills will be super low because I'm already buying it cheap. Yep. You could pay rent somewhere else, go crazy, or you could just stay here and build. Absolutely. Now, how did that conversation go? Were you guys like same mentality? Like how did that come together?
I think that just kind of worked out. It was me looking for my own spot. It was him looking for a spot to kind of try to settle down for a little bit when he came overseas, and it was just good timing for both of us. And it was supposed to be like a short-term thing. We buy this house, see where it goes. The house not expensive. A couple years, I want to buy another house, blah, blah, blah. We want to rent, like, whatever the case was. Yeah. And he had his son. I had my daughter. And he decided he wanted to get a bigger house. Yeah. Still in the same area. Yeah. But, I was like, well, let's make it work. Let's talk numbers. Let's see what works, what you need. I want to help him get on his feet. Me and him got this house together. We went into it together. I'm not going.
So, because here's a couple questions then. How did you guys buy it together? Like, was it both people on the loan, or how did y'all do that?
Both of us on the loan. So what it was at the time was I had good credit, but my job, what is it? The W-9. Yeah. I had to file my own taxes. It was self-employed.
Like you was like a 1099 or something.
1099, yeah, self-employed. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to see, the banks, they don't want to see what you're making off commission. Gotcha. They don't only care about the salary. Yeah. And my commission I was making was triple my salary. Yeah. So all I could give them was the salary, the stubs for that. And they was like, you know what? I mean, we would love to prove we see you make the money, but they're not having it. Underwriter's not having it. Okay. So that's when my cousin kind of came into. He was like, well, look, I'm looking for a place too. He's military. Of course he's going, So I add him on.
So he had a W-2 job.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. So I paid for the house, the down payment and stuff. He helped pay for some of the fixtures too. But all in all, it was an investment for both of us. And I mean, I guess you could say, look at me now, look at him now. But
that's what I'm saying.
Mutual. Yeah.
The important lesson here is, first of all, trusting somebody, coming together. And I don't think as black men we kind of do that. It's always like, and I'm a victim of this too. I'm always like, yo, come on, man. How you going to slave me? You know what I mean?
Because we think we're going to get screwed over
at
some point.
But when you find like a like-minded individual, right, and y'all can say, y'all see the vision, it's like, yo, bro, you don't have to pay this crazy rent. I don't got to pay this crazy rent. You helping me with a situation. Let's do this, right? So now the family's growing. Obviously, men want their own space. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So now how does the conversation go to say, listen, I respect what we did. Like, how do you break bread? That seems like a tough conversation too.
I think that was the easy part of the conversation. We got it. I think when the time came and he mentioned that to me, I was like, well, look, let's figure it out. Let's see where it go. Whatever you need. You help me with this. Of course, I'm gonna help you with what you need. Yeah. And I think we sat down and did some numbers. Had an appraiser come through. I gave him a percentage of what the equity was on the house, and that equity helped with his down payment, the closing costs on his house that he bought. Bigger house, 2-car garage. Like, I mean.
So you mentioned the equity. Yeah. So did you do a refinance to pay him out? That's what I'm asking.
I did a refi. A refi, paid him part of that. I took enough out where I took a little part for myself too. I'm like, why not? Yeah. And that money I used to buy a second house too. All right.
So let's make, because we going fast. So now the power of what just happened is two people came together. They attacked the short sale, meaning the banks wants to offload this property.
They want to offload it before it becomes a foreclosure.
Correct. Yep. So now you're getting this house at a deep discount. So we talking about Maryland, 2010. The house is, what you guys buy it for?
We bought that house for $130.
That's unheard of today. For a townhome.
Unheard of.
So because prices in the particular area of Maryland you in, we talking the townhome's 200. 250,000.
Oh nah, you looking at about 350, 400 now.
So I want everybody to understand how that equity work. But we not even there yet, because we just talking about at maybe you guys how long y'all living together?
Oh man,
Ballpark 4 or 5 years or
I
something.
want to say it was 4.
Okay,
I want to say it was at least 4, 3 to 4.
4 years into the loan.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything's appreciating. You guys are like you said, you fixing everything up. The equity's going crazy on the house. The market is going crazy. So I ain't gonna ask you what your refinance price was, but obviously the house is no longer worth 130. It's way more than that.
Correct.
Now you do good by your cousin, and you break him off with the money so he could go and start his journey.
Correct.
And then the other thing I like about what you just said, you didn't get greedy with refinance money. It's not like I'm gonna buy a new Hellcat, even though I know you a car fanatic, but you got another asset first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you broke bread. He's on his journey getting his home. Now talk about the next property that you did.
Next property I did. So when I took that money out, when I refinanced to buy him out, and I took a little bit out for myself, I decided to pay off a vehicle that I had. That was my goal. So I'm gonna pull out equity for me. I'm paying off some type of debt, whether it be student loan, car loan, something. Something's got to go.
Got you.
Because then I'm able to put more money aside for savings.
Got you.
Mortgage goes up slightly, but it was just like the offload on what I was paying for the mortgage anyway. I said I'm still paying half of what people are paying nowadays.
Got you.
So it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
So I held on to that money. I think stock market I played for like 6 months.
Yeah, I remember that. We was always texting each other.
Yeah, it was heavy. We was heavy in the stocks, and that was at a time where stuff was moving steady and steady going up. But everything kind of worked out there, and I kind of decided, it's time to buy a second property. It's time to make some more money, make your money work for you.
So let's go. So okay, one of the things that I think people find difficult is saving for that down payment, saving to get that first house. So when you was kind of doing that stuff, like what is your process on saving and getting your money together to buy a property?
So this is the thing for me. And I know a lot of people, rent apartments. I've always been opposed to renting an apartment, renting a home. I've always been opposed to it, only because if you're trying to save to buy something that's yours, imagine all the money that you kind of putting into this apartment over the time. You pay 12 month lease. Let's say you're paying $2,000 a month. This average now, I think that's $24,000 in a year. That could have been saved towards a down payment towards a house.
Yeah.
But you've been paying for rent, and that rent, once you pay that rent, it's gone. It's dead. You're not getting that back.
But I think what people find difficult is I'm already in the apartment. I can't save, right? So what do you recommend? What would you recommend somebody do to get their journey started?
I recommend, if that's the situation you in, you locked into a lease anyway. I look at what I would do is, what are the penalties of getting out of that lease and finding a secondary home? Maybe I can rent a room for somebody for 6 months to a year.
This guy, yeah.
That's what family, that's what friends are for, and everybody. If you have the extra space, why wouldn't someone want you to come in,
bro?
Pay a little extra money, help pay with their mortgage, and then you saving money in the process too to get yourself.
So funny you say that, and we on the same page. So I'm actually coaching somebody, and their rent was just astronomical, and I kept saying, I follow Dave Ramsey, so I think your rent or your living expenses, mortgage or whatever, should be 1/4 of your income. Try to do that, and nowadays is impossible, but try.
Damn near.
So, the person was talking about I'm stressed, the rent, blah blah blah, and I was like, why are you there? Just leave. And like you said, there's penalties and stuff, but if you actually sit down and talk to your leasing person or the leasing office, they're more than likely to say, okay, let's dissolve this thing within 60 days, and then you got to find a situation. And I'm like, yo, go to roomshare.com, all this other stuff. Like, people are renting out rooms, and then lo and behold, the person found a situation where they could, get a shared space, pay significantly less. And I'm like, don't change your lifestyle though. You're gonna have to save, and I'm gonna check in with you to make sure you're saving for your down payment.
Absolutely.
So it's funny that you say that approach, but I just think that people have a hard time dialing things back. They think like it's a loss or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's a setback.
Yeah.
And it's not. Even if you consider it a setback, it's a temporary setback. You take one step forward, one step back to take 3 steps forward.
Okay.
It's temporary. 6 months, a year. get a plan. Put a plan in line. Don't just say, all right, I'm come live with you and, I'll figure it out later.
And I'm making noise in your head. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, even my story, to pay off my student loans, I had to live at my uncle's house.
And that was smart. Like,
but he was a douchebag. Like, don't park here. Move this. Yo, man, you opening the fridge too much. Like,
he wanted to be the man of the house. And he wanted to make sure it was known.
But bro, listen, I still was appreciative. I was like, yo, respect. Like, I'm gonna take this little cubic centimeter of the fridge. Can I put my chicken breast there? I would cook food at Ashley's. Come back and then have my little area in the. Didn't bother him. Didn't try to argue with him about his parking spot. Nothing. I park down the street. Play it. Whatever you need. Thanks, man.
I walk about to get to the house. It's cool.
I don't care. The rent was so low. I was like, you giving me thanks, man. Thanks. Okay, you're a little douchey, but whatever. Yeah. So in that time though, I was able to knock out my student loans, get the engagement ring, and get the wedding thing
Big
situated.
Moves.
You know what I'm saying?
And the wedding was beautiful.
Thank you.
Big moves.
Thanks, man. Yeah. But all of that was possible because of a sacrifice. So you can't feel like things is a setback when you actually are able to do such a crazy accomplishment and have the vision.
People, you got to be able to look at the long term. Like, you see yourself now. What's that? Do you need to make a sacrifice? If you stressed and you stressed over paying a bill, then yeah, you need to make that sacrifice. Get yourself.
Let it go. Yes.
Like, why? Like, we got one life to live.
Yeah. You want to spend every day stressed out when it's the first of the month. You know what I'm saying? And then the other situation right now is like with the whole multifamily thing me and Ashley's on. It's like we could get the McMansion or whatever, but it's like we really appreciate the fact that right now we can make mistakes, like a heater will go out or whatever. Like, but at the same time, we could pay for that emergency because we don't have that certain mortgage. Absolutely. Some people could come and look at us and be like, "Man, I would never live with other people on top of my head making noise."
See, that's what
what I'm saying.
Right there. That's you make sacrifice. Yeah, and it's all for the long term. It's all for the long term. It pays off in so many different ways. Sometimes we block our blessings. Mm-hmm. Some of us, the pride, the ego. I'm not doing that. I would never do that. Okay, well, shoot yourself. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah. Because I know how it's going to work for me. I'm going to make it work for me. Yeah. Make your money work for you. Yeah. So, you shouldn't be stressed out about any type of bill. If you stress out about a bill, you got to figure out how to get rid of that.
Yeah, you taking us to church on this one. Yeah. So now, second home. Talk to me about that, finding the house and what made you just tell me about the whole story going through that. Because that was more like you did a flip.
It was a flip, and I was determined. I was thinking about keeping the house. It was double the size of the house I'm at now, but it was just me and my daughter. It was just like, it just didn't make sense to. So I find the house. Number one, it's a auctioned off house. So I had to bid on it, get it for a good number. Basically had to pay a certain amount of cash. It was a large lump sum of cash. But I get the joint.
Talking about credit.
But my credit is what got me there. I was able to pay. I'm refinancing a house. I pay off a car. I got extra money. I'm able to stack for 6 months a year. I mean, everything just kind of worked out, but I'm playing my cards right. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing nothing crazy with my money. 6 months to a year, I said I can lock it down because I need to make this money work for me.
Gotcha.
And I find this house, and I don't know how. I feel like I fought tooth and nail to get this house, but I finally get the house. It needs some fixtures, a little bit of stuff done. I had this contract on standby. I'm like, look, this is the thing. I will say, it's always a struggle, I feel like, when you buy your first, second property because you never know how things are going to go. Okay. Especially when you got to fix it up, timeline, materials. The guy was, and I support black businesses. But that was a setback for me. I mean, that guy, I was like, get your shit together, bro. Yeah, like, you messing with my money. Yeah. Paying 2 mortgages, I mean, I had to do that for a few months while he got stuff done at the crib. But
that's crazy.
When it was done, you had this, I redid the kitchen, I redid the whole house, all the floors, everything. And when I see this house and it's ready, I'm just like, should I be living in this house and renting out the other one? And my daughter loves the house. Oh, we should move in. I'm looking at this house. It's like, this is a 5-bedroom house. Yeah. Like, what are we going to do with a 5-bedroom house, okay? You want 2 rooms? You want 3? Yeah. And I get a room in the office. Like, what are we going to do with this? Yeah. And I was like, and we paying more of a mortgage as it don't make sense. So I put it on the market. I got appraisal done. Put it on the market. The house sold in less than a week. It sold in less than a week. I would say between what I bought the house for, some of the renovations I did, I probably put about $30K renovations in the house. Okay. Between what I paid for the renovations, I probably got about double back. So I made a good profit off of it too. Yeah. But the one mistake I regret about the house is I sold it. I think it was about 6 or 7 months before the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, the housing market was kind of iffy. But about it, this is 2 years. So now, this house now, the house
Yeah.
I sold, it's worth like 150, 200,000 more than what it was.
Good Lord.
So I wish I would have kept it and
I
just
know,
rented
but
it
who
out.
know- yeah,
who knew?
who knows?
Who knew? Like a
Yeah.
pandemic, like no. So, but again,
Just all luck.
just
Can you
all-
imagine in our lifetime we had the '08 recession? I think we had some other
History
recession.
books.
Trump, yo, we got PTSD, bro. Trump is the president, and then a global pandemic shutdown happened.
Yeah.
But you still making this money.
We experienced a lot of things. We a lot
But
of
what
shit
I'm
in
saying
record
is we
books,
still could make things happen.
Yes.
Everybody be like,
100%.
it's bleak and woe is me and all this other stuff. But I just listed off the craziest situations and you still able to double your profit in
but
something.
still able. You stay focused.
Yeah.
Stay focused. It's very simple. When you got your mindset and you know what you want, all you gotta do is figure out how to get there. There are many ways to get there. Whether your goal is to save money, whether your goal is to buy more vehicles, pay off student loans, buy multiple properties, set yourself the goals to get there. Not just one big goal. I want to buy. My goal right now, I plan to buy 2 to 3 new properties within the next 3 years. That's my goal.
And random?
No plan behind it yet, but I know in January, which is in 2 weeks now, I have a new budget that starts, and that is specifically for investments.
Yeah, we
Just
got.
my
I
whole
told you.
budget.
I told you before the pod. We got to talk about Springfield, man.
It's
We gotta talk
funny.
about Springfield.
Jamie in my business the other day, he only in my business, but
Yeah.
he was looking at, what'd you say the other day? You saw my computer screen up. You said you was looking at my budget page was up.
Yeah.
And how many budgets you see? Like 5.
5 budgets.
5 budgets.
Yeah.
One for any predicament.
Yeah.
I want to buy a new car. I want to buy a new house. I want to invest more in stocks. Whatever. I'm
Yeah.
prepared for anything.
So you are like a master planner. Is that something like you just grew up with that, or you like developed that? Like, are you reading books to like get that focus? Like, what's going on? How you lock in like that?
I didn't start locking in like that until I had my daughter. I had her when I was 19. I had her when I was young.
Yeah.
And it was a whole different mindset when I found out she was on the way.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? The partying is fun and all that stuff, but I was like, I want to make sure she has the things that I didn't have. So that in itself is what made me to start planning.
Yeah.
Really was being a father, being a parent.
I will say this: sometimes when the baby's on the way, dudes don't. Just a lot of dudes don't snap.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. Some of them don't snap him when the baby get there.
Yeah.
But with me, I think one thing for me is, I was raised in a single family household, single parent household.
Yeah.
My
Shout
mother-
out. Me too.
Yeah, mother was everything, and I was just like, my father wasn't there, or he wasn't there like I hoped he had been there.
Yeah, I understand.
And so for me, it's like when I found out I'm becoming a father, like I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be there every step of the way.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do things that wasn't even thought of. I want to make sure my daughter is set up in any way she could possibly set up.
To win.
But now I'm at a different point. She's a teenager now, and I realize I do have to make her earn some stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's a balance. Maybe I overcompensated a little
Yeah.
when she was younger, but now
Yeah.
she's a very smart kid. I mean, it's
I think at the end of the day, because kids need time to mature
Yeah.
and grow up, but when they start reflecting on the lessons that parents have tried to teach them, it's gonna eventually click.
It clicks.
It's gonna eventually click. So
Yep.
you just got to give them time to run, come around. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you've been a father way longer than I have, so I'm looking forward to those challenges.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
okay.
to them. I am.
I was looking
am.
forward to them too until they came, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, like
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I just got to
got a
prepare
girl,
myself.
too.
And, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like today, Shorty was just running around and got a hold of the ointment, and then I just heard my wife scream. I was like, "What's going on?" All on her face, like just all over her body, and I just laughed, man. I was just like, "This is what it is,
this
bro."
is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got a whole human we gotta take care of,
Yeah.
and like everything we doing now. Like when I think about locking in, I knew that I couldn't start a family with student loan debt. It just wasn't going to be my thing. Yeah. So like, it's like I had to lay out a plan, a budget,
You see?
to get out of the situation.
So that's what honed you in. You wanted the debt. You wanted to make sure
That's why it's debt free Dean.
Yes.
I don't want situations where lights get cut off.
Yeah.
We ain't got hot water. You know what I'm saying? If a problem arises, I want to be financially ready to take care of it. But I think that everybody has to realize, like, sometimes you need a sacrifice and you need a plan.
Yes.
Budgeting is super important, and that's a plan to get to your goal. You can't go through life swiping with no type of intention.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, a lot of people out here, like to swipe. It's a balance though, and that's the credit piece of it. You can swipe, but how good are you at managing that debt?
Correct.
Having debt is not a bad thing, but you have to know how to manage it.
Okay.
And there's so many different types of debt you can have. What's good, what's bad. Interest rates kick in. Credit card versus loan. Like, it's stuff that you really have to weigh. And if you, this is the thing. Schools don't teach us when we coming through middle and high school. They don't teach about budget, about paying bills. They teach us education. They want you to be able to read, write, do your math.
Yeah, we learn about Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I respect Shakespeare. However, there's so many. I'm just saying, there's so many other aspects of life that we can be taught in school. Like, give us a class I seen in high school that is going to teach us about debt, about buying houses, how interest rates. Like, give us those type of classes, just one class. Yeah, it will make so much difference with, So
some of these dudes don't listen anyway, man.
But you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of these kids,
you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah,
but
because I've had programs, at least in when I was growing up, that taught about like compound interest, taught about like, you see those graphs, like if you save $1 and then $2 this week, how to get to $1,000. Like, I've had those classes. And then another class I had was it was college prep, and they were just talking about financial aid packages, how much you actually get. I didn't pay attention at all. Yeah, it was just like, you know what I'm saying? But it comes back. It clicks. Yeah, it clicks. So it was important to like reflect on those things, and then, oh shoot, and now you snap back in and you try to utilize it. But completely agree with you. Like, this is the first year that I realized that I could understand how much taxes I'm going to have to pay. Like, there's a calculation that's on the IRS website that shows you how to calculate your tax bill. And then now I'm reading a book about deductions, how to like subtract that tax liability first. So now when I spend money on things or do like, let me do this repair right now because I know I could bring my tax bill down to this for the rental. So I'm looking at things very differently, but it's like they hide that type of information.
Yeah, that's not stuff that you taught. You got to be in it and literally be trying to find ways. You got to know how to, like you said, like we've been saying, make your money work for you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of things we not taught, but
even the freaking. I was always scared about credit cards. I didn't like them. So right now I'm with I got the Amex Platinum joint, and I'm realizing like, okay, you got the introduction points that they give you, right? And then I do all the renovations on that card. I'm trying to really figure out a way to pay my contractors. I know I could do it, but I ain't really trying to mess with that. Huh?
It'd probably pay
that fee. I didn't want to do that. It didn't make any sense. So now I'm like, all these points accumulating. Sure, you want to go on vacation? Here's the 2 flight. I'm like, damn, this is how they doing it.
Yes, that's the thing. It's crazy. Like the credit card thing, like a lot of people don't like credit cards. Yeah. My thing, and the Amex is good, so kudos to that. That's the way to go because you're gonna get good rewards.
Yeah.
But most people get these credit cards and they swipe them because they just want to buy things. But literally, you got to look at the reward system. There's so many credit cards. All of them serve different purposes.
Yes.
Some of them is cash back rewards. Some of them are just very low interest rates. Some of them we get travel points and rewards. What's gonna work for you?
Yeah.
What is it something that you want to do? You know you use your credit card often. If I want to travel more, but I can't afford to really save like I want to for travel, what's another way I can travel? This credit card is going to give you the reward points anyway.
So this is what because I don't want people to just get the credit card and be wild.
Right. Oh yeah.
If you have expenses that are coming up, like somebody who I wouldn't say is in sales. I know somebody in sales, right? They fly to all their client sites. They get an Amex Platinum. The company is going to pay for their flights anyway and reimburse them.
There it is.
You use your Amex to pay, get all the points for work.
Hotel, airfare.
Exactly. Meanwhile, work is going to cut you a check to pay off your Amex. Now your vacation is
there
free.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Vacation is paid for.
So I don't think people are understanding that. If you're a foodie, you like to go out and eat all the time. Why don't you set up a YouTube channel, set up an LLC for that joint? Whenever you go out to eat, boom, put on it. I'm giving out free game.
Yeah, it's free game. And it's crazy because if it's something that you enjoy, like you're going to do it. If you enjoy eating,
turn it to a business.
You enjoy traveling, make it work for you.
Yeah. Now that the other people I'm trying to understand, like I want to get actually into this is I want her to start blogging so that when we travel, we can write off all that stuff. because people are promoting resorts and all this stuff. I didn't even know that was part of the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Everything makes you money now.
Yeah.
Especially with social media and
that could be a whole business. So, like I said, you got to swipe with some type of intention, especially if you have heavy expenses coming up. Why not sign up for a card? You know you're going to pay it, have the money to pay it, but get these points.
Get the points.
And then utilize the points for, something down the road, whether it's taking a flight or anything like that. But I'm bougie now, man. I like my lounge.
Hey, and you know what? And it's crazy. I don't have a credit card that gives me access to a lounge yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, and I was thinking about the Amex too, but there's another one I'll be looking into too. But
let a brother know, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm gonna get one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get one. But I think that the last credit card I went through and got, I got the TSA pre-check and global entry and some travel. Like it was all free. But they basically covered it.
But you made it. You took advantage because some of the cards got the high annual fee.
Correct.
But you got to use all the perks to get the worth of the. Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're using the perks, even if it's something, some of them give you free Hulu and Netflix, which to me is ridiculous. But you look at that $20 a month, it adds up. That's your annual fee right there.
There you go.
And you're getting a service you're getting a couple services, in return for it.
Some people just sit there and let that card rock. I'd be like, no, not me, man. Nah, I'm using everything. I'm watching YouTube channels about how to use
I'm going to 7-Eleven to get me a soda. One.
And then you get the emails with the multipliers.
Oh man,
I'd be like, yo, we buying gas on this one.
Yes, this is the card we're using this month. Put anything we. So and that's the thing, making it work for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you gotta have. I'm not saying you gotta have good credit. You can start off with any type of credit card, really.
Okay.
But the thing about good credit is you care about the limit. So of course we swipe cards to get debt, and I'm one of those type of people that I pay off my debt every month.
Yeah.
So I use my card. We went out Friday night, Saturday night. I paid it off yesterday. Like I don't care how much money we spent. I just paid it off because I just want the rewards.
I was an idiot. I took my debit card. Boy.
You see, but we know we're gonna go out and we're gonna drink. Put it on the credit card, pay it off on the debit card the next day, and get the rewards points.
Okay.
That's it. It's simple stuff like that. That shit adds up over time.
Gotcha.
Drinking ain't cheap. We go to the liquor store, we go out to a bar, and we drink heavy.
I saw one post that was talking about like this dude spending $5,000 a year on alcohol, and I'm like,
that sounds normal.
Yeah, but he's saying it like it's bad, and I was like,
no,
damn.
that's the crazy thing is that's the norm. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I gotta.
How much money we spend on it?
I know we gotta dial it back.
Now just thinking that with the rewards, and you get some of your cards, you get 2 times.
But they never give you go to this bar. Like, come on, Amex, help alcohol.
Give me a specific bar that you want me to go to, and I'm gonna go there.
Nah, give me alcohol points.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy.
Yo, but I want to say, man, thanks for sharing your story. I think we have to get into more in-depth conversations. Hopefully, I have you back. Thank you for sharing. Talking about just discipline and how you went through your house journey. I think a lot of people have to dive into this pod and understand that there's no reward without sacrifice.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So 100%. I really do appreciate your story. Is there anything you want to share before we dip out?
Oh man, for real. Just thank you for having me on here, man. And I respect this. I know y'all be doing the podcast thing, man. I respect it 100. And I'm just sitting here watching the setup and everything. This is just crazy to me, and it lets me know that I need to get a leg up. Like, never get comfortable. Like, if you enjoy doing something, do it and let stuff work for you.
You never know where. That's what I'm saying. I never know where this thing could go or this thing could take me.
You never know. So, the finances, the credit, it all ties in. You do something you love, you want to make money. Use a credit card to start a business. Yeah. It's so many different ways you make the system work for you. Yeah. A lot of people, we feel like we get screwed by the system or it doesn't work. But we can finagle the system just like it finagle us. Just know how to work it.
Appreciate that, man. So it's been a shot of discourse. It's your boy Debt Free Deem, and we out.